Have you ever found yourself waking up 2, 3, or even 4 times a night just to use the bathroom? At first, it may seem like a small inconvenience. You get out of bed, walk down the hallway, and tell yourself it's simply part of getting older. But after weeks, months, or even years of interrupted sleep, those nighttime trips begin to take a much bigger toll than most people realize. Instead of waking up refreshed, you start each morning already feeling exhausted. Your body never seems to recover from the day before. You may notice that your memory isn't as sharp as it once was. Your joints feel stiffer when you first stand up. Even your balance can become less steady, making every trip through a dark hallway feel just a little more dangerous. For many older adults, the greatest concern isn't the bathroom itself. It's the possibility of a fall in the middle of the night. Waking up to urinate doesn't always mean something is seriously wrong. In many cases, your body is simply going through natural age-related changes. And while we can't stop the aging process, we can often make small adjustments that help our bodies work more comfortably. It isn't a prescription medication. It isn't an expensive supplement advertised on television. In fact, it may already be sitting quietly in your kitchen cabinet. It's a simple spice that has been valued in traditional wellness practices for generations. When used the right way, as part of a healthy evening routine, many people find that it helps them relax before bed and supports a more restful night's sleep. In today's video, we are going to explore why nighttime urination becomes so common as we grow older, what actually happens inside the body after age 60, and why this humble spice has attracted so much attention. More importantly, I'll show you the proper way to use it, because timing and technique matter just as much as the spice itself. We'll also cover several common mistakes that prevent many people from seeing any benefit at all. Before we begin, I'd love to know how many people in our community are dealing with the same challenge. If you regularly wake up at night to use the bathroom, leave a simple yes in the comments below. Your comment may encourage someone else to realize they're not alone. And be sure to stay with me until the very end. The section on the most common mistakes contains one small detail that many people overlook. It may seem insignificant, but it can make all the difference between another restless night and finally getting the uninterrupted sleep your body has been longing for. If we want to sleep better, we first have to understand why our bodies keep waking us up in the middle of the night. Many older adults assume they're waking up simply because they drank too much water before bed or because their bladder has somehow gone bad. While those things can play a role, they rarely tell the whole story. The first change actually begins deep inside the brain during the daytime. Your kidneys work steadily to remove excess water and waste from your bloodstream. But when evening arrives, your brain sends out a chemical signal that tells the kidneys to slow down for the night. That signal comes from a hormone called vasopressin. You can think of vasopressin as your body's nighttime water saver. Its job is to help the kidneys hold on to more fluid while you're asleep so your bladder doesn't fill as quickly. The challenge is that as we grow older, our bodies often produce less of this hormone during the night. Without the same level of support, the kidneys continue producing urine almost as actively as they do during the day. Even if you haven't had much to drink in the evening, your bladder may still fill faster than it used to 20 or 30 years ago. The second change happens in the bladder itself. Like every other muscle in the body, the bladder changes with age. Over time, it becomes less flexible and more sensitive. Instead of comfortably storing urine until it's reasonably full, it may begin sending signals to the brain much earlier. Sometimes the bladder isn't even close to full, yet the urge to urinate can feel immediate and impossible to ignore. This combination creates the perfect recipe for interrupted sleep. Your kidneys are producing more urine overnight while your bladder is becoming less willing to hold on. Neither change is your fault, and together they explain why so many older adults find themselves waking up several times before morning. I remember speaking with a woman named Helen, a 72-year-old retired accountant. She was convinced she had done everything correctly. Every evening she stopped drinking water hours before bedtime. She even skipped her favorite cup of herbal tea after dinner. Yet she still found herself awake at 1 in the morning, then again around 4 in the morning, wondering why nothing seemed to help. After we talked through her daily routine, she realized that the problem wasn't simply how much she was drinking. Her body itself had changed, and understanding those changes helped her stop blaming herself. There are also a few evening habits that can quietly make nighttime urination even more noticeable. For example, many people choose watermelon, grapes, or oranges as a healthy dessert after dinner. They're certainly nutritious, but they're also rich in water, meaning they add more fluid for the kidneys to process overnight. Others enjoy a warm cup of tea before bed as a relaxing ritual. While that may feel comforting, even caffeine-free herbal teas still contribute extra liquid that eventually reaches the bladder during the night. None of these habits are bad. They're simply habits that may no longer work as well for an aging body. So, is there anything simple we can do to support our bodies before bedtime? Surprisingly, one possible answer has been sitting in kitchen cupboards around the world for centuries. The spice is cardamom. Many people know cardamom for its warm, slightly sweet aroma. It's commonly added to baked goods, teas, and traditional recipes in many cultures. But long before it became a popular cooking ingredient, cardamom had earned a respected place in traditional wellness practices across parts of Asia and the Middle East. For generations, it was valued not because it promised miracle cures, but because people believed it helped the body find balance. Ancient herbal practitioners often recommended it after meals to promote comfortable digestion, ease occasional stomach discomfort, and encourage a greater sense of relaxation before sleep. Modern life may be very different from life hundreds of years ago, but one thing hasn't changed. As we grow older, our bodies often become more sensitive to stress. Digestion slows down, and relaxing at the end of the day doesn't always come easily. This is where cardamom may offer gentle support. One of its most appreciated qualities is its naturally pleasant aroma. Simply chewing the seeds releases fragrant essential oils that many people find soothing. Rather than forcing the body to sleep, the experience itself can become part of a calming evening routine, helping signal that the day is coming to an end. Cardamom is also widely used as a digestive spice. After a large dinner, many older adults experience bloating, heaviness, or excess gas. While these symptoms may seem unrelated to nighttime urination, they can increase pressure inside the abdomen. That additional pressure may make an already sensitive bladder feel even more uncomfortable. By supporting healthier digestion and helping reduce feelings of fullness after meals, cardamom may indirectly help the body feel more comfortable before bedtime. I remember meeting a gentleman named Michael, a retired carpenter who loved family dinners. Every evening he enjoyed generous portions, then spent the rest of the night feeling uncomfortably full. He assumed waking up several times was simply something he had to live with. When he began chewing 1 or 2 cardamom pods after dinner as part of a broader effort to improve his evening routine, the first thing he noticed wasn't his sleep. It was his digestion. He told me that he no longer felt as heavy when he went to bed. Within the following weeks, he found himself falling asleep more easily and waking less often during the night. Then there was Grace, a former elementary school teacher, who described bedtime as the busiest part of her day, not because she had things to do, but because her mind simply refused to slow down. She would lie awake replaying conversations, thinking about her children, worrying about doctor's appointments, or planning tomorrow's errands. She started ending each evening with a quiet ritual, turning off the television, reading for a few minutes, and slowly chewing 2 cardamom pods. She often told me that the ritual itself became something she looked forward to. It helped her feel calmer, more present, and more prepared for sleep. While it wasn't a magic solution, she felt that her evenings gradually became more peaceful. And that's an important point to remember. Cardamom isn't meant to replace medical care, nor should it be viewed as an overnight cure. Instead, think of it as one small tool that may help support relaxation and digestion when combined with healthy bedtime habits. If you never imagined that a common kitchen spice could play this kind of supportive role, leave the word "surprised" in the comments below. I'd love to know how many people are discovering this for the very first time. The simplest solutions are often the ones sitting right in front of us, in our kitchen cabinets. You may be wondering something important. Why would chewing a small spice like cardamom have any effect at all? The first possible explanation involves the bladder itself. Cardamom naturally contains aromatic compounds known as essential oils. Researchers have been interested in these compounds because they appear to have mild relaxing properties in laboratory studies. While more research is still needed, scientists believe these natural compounds may help the body's smooth muscles remain more relaxed. Why does that matter? Your bladder is made largely of smooth muscle. When it becomes overly sensitive or contracts too easily, it can send signals to the brain even when it isn't completely full. That sudden urge to urinate is something many older adults know all too well. By helping the body stay more relaxed overall, cardamom may help reduce unnecessary bladder tension and occasional muscle spasms. It doesn't stop the bladder from working. That wouldn't be healthy. Instead, it may support more comfortable bladder function during the night. The second mechanism involves your nervous system. Many people think nighttime urination is only about the bladder. In reality, the brain plays an important role as well. Think about those nights when you've been worried about your health, your finances, or someone you love. Even if your bladder hasn't filled much, you may wake up repeatedly because your brain never truly settles into deep restorative sleep. When the nervous system remains on high alert, the body becomes more sensitive to every signal, including the sensation that it's time to urinate. Cardamom's warm aroma and naturally calming properties have long been appreciated in traditional wellness practices for promoting relaxation. For many people, chewing it slowly becomes part of a peaceful bedtime ritual that helps quiet the mind after a busy day. Feeling calmer doesn't just make it easier to fall asleep. It may also make it easier to stay asleep. The third mechanism is perhaps the most overlooked. It has to do with digestion. As we age, food often stays in the stomach a little longer than it once did. A heavy evening meal can leave you feeling bloated or uncomfortable well into the night. That fullness increases pressure inside the abdomen, where the stomach, intestines, and bladder all share a limited amount of space. Even a small increase in pressure can make the bladder feel more sensitive. Cardamom has traditionally been used to support digestion after meals by helping relieve feelings of bloating and excess gas. When digestion feels more comfortable, there may be less pressure pushing against the bladder, making those nighttime urges feel less frequent for some people. So if you decide to try cardamom, there's one detail that many people overlook. It's not just about chewing the spice. It's about using it the right way. Just as timing matters when taking certain medications or vitamins, the same idea applies here. A simple evening ritual can become much more effective when it's done consistently and at the right moment. The best time to chew cardamom is after you finish dinner, about 30 minutes before going to bed. By that point, your evening meal has begun moving through the digestive system, and your body is naturally starting to transition from the activity of the day into the restfulness of the night. This is an ideal time to support both relaxation and comfortable digestion before sleep. As for the amount, 1 or 2 whole cardamom pods are usually enough. More isn't necessarily better. The goal isn't to overwhelm your body, but to gently introduce the spice as part of a healthy bedtime routine. The way you chew it is just as important. Instead of swallowing the pods quickly, gently crush them between your teeth to release the tiny seeds and their fragrant oils. Then allow those natural oils to remain in your mouth for about 60 seconds before swallowing. Many people rush through this step, but slowing down can make the ritual much more enjoyable. As you chew, you'll notice the warm, refreshing aroma becoming stronger. Taking slow, relaxed breaths while the cardamom remains in your mouth naturally encourages you to pause, unwind, and leave behind the stress of the day. For many people, that quiet minute becomes almost as valuable as the spice itself. You may wonder why waiting those 60 seconds matters. Some researchers believe that allowing the essential oils to remain in contact with the tissues inside the mouth gives the body an opportunity to begin absorbing certain aromatic compounds before they pass into the digestive system. While digestion remains the primary route of absorption, keeping the cardamom in your mouth a little longer also allows you to fully experience its aroma, which many people find calming as part of their bedtime routine. Just as importantly, those 60 seconds encourage something we rarely do anymore. They force us to slow down. Instead of rushing from dinner straight to bed, you spend 1 quiet minute focused on your breathing, your body, and the simple act of preparing for rest. That pause, perhaps more than anything else, is one of the reasons this feels so relaxing to many people. There is, however, one common mistake that can reduce its benefits. After chewing the cardamom, avoid drinking a large glass of water right away. Many people do this automatically because they want to wash away the flavor. But immediately drinking a large amount of liquid adds extra fluid to the bladder just before bedtime, the very thing you're trying to avoid. A woman named Margaret discovered this through experience. She faithfully chewed cardamom every evening for nearly a week, but noticed very little difference. When we talked about her routine, she mentioned that she always drank a full glass of water immediately afterward because she liked ending the day feeling hydrated. She decided to make one small adjustment. Instead of drinking that large glass after chewing the cardamom, she finished most of her fluids earlier in the evening and simply enjoyed the ritual on its own before bed. Within the next couple of weeks, she noticed that her nights felt calmer. She wasn't waking quite as often, and when she did, it was easier to settle back to sleep. That's why this routine is built on 3 simple principles: the right time, the right amount, and the right technique. None of them are complicated, but together they create an evening habit that works with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them. The second mistake is eating a dinner that's too salty or too spicy. A salty meal naturally makes you thirsty. Before long, you find yourself reaching for another glass of water, then perhaps another one later in the evening. By bedtime, your bladder has much more fluid to deal with than it otherwise would have. Very spicy foods can create a similar problem. Besides making you drink more, they may also irritate the bladder in some individuals, making it feel more sensitive during the night. If your bladder is already changing with age, that extra irritation may increase the urge to wake up. This doesn't mean you have to give up your favorite meals forever. It simply means that if you're trying to improve your sleep, dinner is often the best place to start. Choosing lighter meals with moderate seasoning during the evening may give your body a better opportunity to settle comfortably before bed. The third mistake is perhaps the biggest of all: giving up too soon. We live in a world where we're used to expecting immediate results. If something doesn't work after 1 or 2 days, it's easy to assume it never will. Unlike a sleeping pill, cardamom isn't designed to force your body into sleep on the very first night. Instead, it becomes part of an evening ritual that supports your body's natural rhythms over time. Small changes often build gradually, and the benefits may not become noticeable until you've practiced the habit consistently. I remember a woman named Carol who almost stopped after only 3 evenings. She told me, "I don't think this is doing anything." Rather than quitting, she decided to continue while also paying attention to her evening habits. Around the 8th day, she realized she had only gotten up once during the night instead of 3 times. It wasn't a dramatic change, but it was enough to encourage her. By about the 10th day, she experienced something she hadn't enjoyed in months: a full night's sleep without waking to use the bathroom. She smiled and said it wasn't because of one magical ingredient. It was because several small, healthy habits had finally started working together. That's an important lesson for all of us. Real improvement often comes from consistency, not perfection. One evening won't transform your sleep, but 10 thoughtful evenings may begin to change the pattern you've been living with for years. If you're willing to give your body the time it deserves and commit to building healthier bedtime habits, leave the words "I promise" in the comments below. It can be a small promise to yourself that you'll stay patient, stay consistent, and give these simple changes a fair chance to work. By now, you've probably realized that there isn't one single solution to nighttime urination. Instead, better sleep usually comes from several small habits working together. Cardamom may be one helpful piece of the puzzle, but the rest of your evening and even your daytime routine matter just as much. Better sleep isn't about one magic solution. It's about many small habits working together. Here are 4 simple habits that can support everything we've discussed so far. The first is eating a lighter dinner. Heavy meals require your digestive system to work much harder while you're trying to sleep. That extra effort can leave you feeling bloated and uncomfortable, placing additional pressure on the bladder. A lighter evening meal is often easier on the body. Grilled fish, steamed vegetables, vegetable soup, or other simple balanced meals can provide the nutrition you need without leaving you overly full before bedtime. The second habit is sleeping on your left side. This sleeping position may help support more comfortable digestion for some people by allowing the stomach to empty more efficiently. When digestion feels smoother and abdominal discomfort is reduced, there may also be less pressure around the bladder. While this position won't eliminate nighttime urination by itself, many people find it to be a comfortable choice as part of a healthy bedtime routine. The third habit is keeping your bedroom cool. Many sleep specialists recommend a room temperature of about 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly 20 to 21 degrees Celsius, for comfortable sleep. A cooler room helps your body lower its core temperature, one of the natural signals that it's time to rest. If your bedroom is too warm, you may wake more easily throughout the night, making you much more aware of every small sensation, including the urge to use the bathroom. Finally, don't overlook the importance of a morning walk. At first, it may seem unrelated to what happens during the night, but gentle exercise early in the day supports healthy circulation and helps your body regulate fluid more efficiently. Many older adults also notice that regular morning walks improve their sleep quality, reduce stress, and help maintain a healthier daily rhythm, all of which can contribute to fewer nighttime awakenings over time. The wonderful thing about these habits is that none of them are difficult on their own. As we've seen throughout today's video, waking up several times a night to use the bathroom doesn't have to be accepted as an unavoidable part of aging. While we can't stop the natural changes that occur in the body, we can learn to work with them instead of against them. Sometimes a few simple adjustments. A lighter dinner, healthier evening habits, a consistent bedtime routine, and the thoughtful use of a familiar spice like cardamom can help support more restful nights and more energetic mornings. Remember, lasting improvements rarely happen overnight. They come from small choices repeated consistently, one day at a time. And those small choices can have a remarkable impact on your comfort, your independence, and your overall quality of life. If you found today's video helpful, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What surprised you the most? And if you're planning to try this simple evening routine, let us know as well. Your experience may encourage someone else to take their first step toward better sleep. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend or family member who may also be struggling with nighttime urination. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. If this changed how you think about nighttime bathroom trips, hit that like button and subscribe to Winds of Thought for more practical, science-backed advice on healthy aging.